Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Demonologist UK live stream here on the HAPRC network. And boy, have we got a show lined up for you tonight. Two-star guest on the show, Kay Maloney. She's going to be doing live readings for you guys, right? And we sort of sorted this out last time Kay was on. We sort of arranged for it so that you guys get yourselves some live readings, some one-card pulls. It's going to be good. We're going to speak to Kay about how she's doing that in a bit. But first, don't forget, guys, we have the merchandise up there and ready. If you want to get hold of an official Demonologist UK t-shirt, all you have to do is head over to facebook.com/catfacemerch, send them a message with Demonologist 101 to let them know your size, and it's delivered to your door. I think the price is at $16.99, and yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm just trying to support, the local business for all this corona and all that sort of stuff. Also, don't forget 29th of May, brand new show starting over there on Pulse Talk Radio. Myself and Mr. Ben Winfield, out to Ben and Louisa, locked in now. We will be doing a new show based on Pulse Talk Radio. We haven't come up with a name for it yet, but that's from the 29th of May. And also, don't forget, we're still collecting for the National Autistic Society. So if you want to donate to that, head over to my Facebook page. That's facebook.com/The Demonologist UK. But now, it's time for you guys to get what you deserve. We're looking forward to this one. It's going to be a good one. I'm basically just the secretary tonight. So let's see what happens. Let's bring Kay onto the show. Hello, Kay. How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. You okay?
I am. Just nice to be back.
Yeah.
Nice to be back to some sort of, we're all going back to some sort of normality. So really good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's nice to go back to that bit of normality. It is actually quite nice for a change. It hasn't really changed much for me over the whole period because I've been working through it, but at the same time, it's nice to sort of see all the traffic back out there on the roads and all the happy people that like to bib their horns.
Yeah, we had that this afternoon. A 15-minute journey took us nearly 30.
Oh,
So,
it's
yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It was taking me like half an hour, 45 minutes to get to work and back again during the lockdown. And now it's gone up to like an hour. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, no, it's great to have you back on the show. We was going to arrange this for all the guys out there that wanted the reading, because you've done your reading live on me on air, which was fantastic. It was spot on. But just before we get into that, I'm going to be the secretary tonight. I'm just going to take the names of the people that want a reading, and I'm just going to read them off to you, and then you can fire away. But just tell us how it works, the system you're going to be using tonight, because I remember you saying it's a one-card pull.
Yeah. So I use this is the back of my cards. You can see it's actually the Wildwood Tarot. So you can see they are all kind of earth-based.
Right.
There's no traditional death card.
Right.
So typically like the Rider-Waite deck and most traditional decks have the death card. It is in there in symbolism, but it is mainly these are like more intuitive led cards. It's more about the cycle of nature and the cycle of rebirth and energy. So but almost pagan led, if I'm being honest with a lot of the imagery. There aren't any star signs or any kind of gobbledygook to confuse people. It is literally an intuitive pull. So when you pull the name up on the screen, I'll shuffle the cards, and literally where the cards tell me to stop, I will stop and pull the top card and do the one card reading intuitively for them.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So everybody in the chat room, if you want to get a reading from Kay tonight, let's crack on. Just stick your name up there. And I think Jane's first on the list. Let me just stick her up there. There we go. Jane Rowley, the boss lady, would like a reading.
So Jane, so your card is a 6 of stones, and this is exploitation. Okay. So what I always do with anyone that has a reading, I get them to see how you feel about the card as well, and just take any private messages as well before I start the intuitive reading. So Jane, this card is all about exploration and the doubting of self. So the exploitation area, it is discussing mainly you feel that at your most vulnerable at times, but particularly with a particular person at the moment. I think you're a bit worried about where that relationship's going to go in regards to more of a supportive role. So you feel like you've put your all into this person, you've given them all of your support and encouragement, but you still somehow don't trust them. So this card is informing you, if you can see there, the colours in the background. So we've got the oranges, particularly a lot of yellows. These are all linked to the chakra colours in these cards. And this is directly linked to solar plexus, so self of knowing and self of sense, almost your selfhood. So own who you are and own your own rights, your own gifts, your own talents and your own way of life. But most of all, go by what you think is right with this person. And if you feel that it's not going to work or that you're being kind of psychically vampired, cut the ties for your own peace of mind and your own health, Jane. So I hope that card finds you well. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you, Jane. So I'll just hold it up one more time for you to take one more look at. And there you go, Jane. I hope you enjoyed that, Jane.
Well, there you go, Jane. There's the first ones on you. That's on the house, Jane. I won't charge you for that one. So next up in this, I feel it's weird. It's weird me not talking. I'm just like secretary tonight. It's crazy.
If you have any questions, like I said, just ask away. I'll just kind of, I love this kind of work. It's kind of one of my favourite things to do, just to engage with people.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I mean, at the end of the day, people were so blown away by the reading that you gave me live on air that it just gave them a chance for everybody to sort of experience what I experienced. Because the way you do it is it's very different from the way you have readings from other mediums, like tarot readings and stuff like that. It's quite, it's very different. Right. So next one we have Jacqueline Dixon. Old Jackie from the old paranormal. What's her name? Paranormal Path, I think it's called.
So Jacqueline, which shares all of our stuff, so thank you, Jacqueline. I share Lived in the Vale, and most people share my videos, so thank you, Jacqueline. Been a big supporter of myself and my husband, so thank you.
Brilliant.
And this is the Ace of Stones, and this is the foundation of life, Jacqueline. Okay, so this is showing you as you are right now. As we speak right now, this is literally a glimpse of that split second reaction of where you are. So stone is all connected to Mother Nature, Mother Earth. Typically when we build a home, it is kind of the pillar stone to where we will be comfortable. And this is saying that you need to almost kind of rebuild a safety net, a safety foundation for yourself. If you can see predominantly there are the carvings in the wood, and these all look very similar to kind of like daisy stones, daisy wheels. Some people that I've had reading with describe them as more like mushrooms and Mother Earth. And that depiction for me is all about building a safety net for yourself. I feel like you feel particularly burnt out at the moment with trying to deal with situations where they're taking its toll. But you ultimately, your home used to be your sanctuary, it still is. But you're almost feeling that it's time to move and you need to build a new solid foundation, Jacqueline. So what I'm going to say is, particularly when we get stone as well, stone helps create the rice, the grains that comes from the crops to feed us, to nourish. And it's really important that before you make the decision, maybe on this move or on this kind of susceptible change, you need to kind of bear down to the truth and strip everything back to your foundations and feel safe again. So I hope that makes sense for you, Jacqueline. I held it one more time for you. But mainly, create a safe haven for yourself again and feel safe again. I'm going to take a drink.
Brilliant. Well, so far we've lined up quite a fair few at the minute, so we're going to get through them. But what I wanted to ask you as well is, with you do Kabbalistic readings, right? Yes. So it's more to do with meditation, balancing yourself, being one with yourself. It's almost like Kabbalistic, borderline Buddhist teachings.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a certain set of tarot like deck cards or
no? I started out with Thoth Tarot, which was Crowley cards, solely because they basically there are spaces on the tree where the Thoth Tarot fits. So if you're going to do a purely like Kabbalistic, pure, I'll call it purist reading, they are with the Thoth Tarot and they correlate it to the sapphires on the tree. But what I found doing those readings were that unless you were a Kabbalistic believer or unless you were a particularly, you knew about Jewish mysticism, people weren't really, not so much getting their money's worth, but it wasn't meaning anything to them. It was literally all symbolism. And a lot of the, as they are beautiful cards, but for me, unlike these cards that I've got now, the intuitiveness was a little bit more, I felt that it was underpinned by read knowledge from a book rather than the intuitive reading through energy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask that one because I know that obviously I've compared tarot cards to almost like, do you know, like Harry Potter, where
Yeah,
he says the wand picks the wizard, Harry. It's like the
yeah,
tarot card picks the
yeah,
reader.
yeah. These were gifted to me as well. So one of my mentors at the time knew I was struggling with off, and she said, just go and find cards. I can't find cards. I can't find cards. And she had a gift shop, and
Yeah.
she literally went, well, which ones call out to you on there? And I was like, those ones, well, you can have those. I'll gift you those, and let's see how we get on. And from the moment I started using these cards,
Okay.
the readings just kind of, I felt a lot more natural. But also, I felt people got a lot more out of it as well from like the imagery. I find, and I always say to people that have a reading, the imagery will carry on speaking to you for a couple of days afterwards because it will mean something to you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it sort of makes sense. It does make sense. I mean, I've never touched a tarot card, so I wouldn't know. But it sort of it does make sense because when you're out investigating or you're dealing with negative entities, you sort of you stick to your gut feeling.
Yeah.
So it's sort of all sort of intuitive, and it all sort of makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah. I like to take them on investigations as well. I haven't ever done them kind of on camera or with the public. But
Mm,
when me and my husband go, I do tend to take them. Don't always pull them out, but sometimes they can be a really kind of intuitive lead to the energies in the building that
yep.
are maybe stepping back. And sometimes you can pull a card, and that card, it's not going to give you all of the information, but it's maybe a good starting point for someone that just want to step forward and go, oh, this is my name, and this was my story.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Right. Next one up, we have Louisa. Louisa Brown.
So Louisa. So
Uh,
Louisa, your card is the Green Man. So this is
ooh.
quite fitting, really, with the equinox of Beltane coming, the beginning of spring and the new equinox. So this is two ways, Louisa. When we get the Green Man is all about abundance. So that is either personal abundance or financial abundance. And I'm drawn
Mhm.
to you, Louisa, more from a personal abundance. I feel that's something with you, a project's coming to fruition that you've been working really, really, really hard on. I feel that you've kind of put your head down, dug your heels in, and this abundance is going to come from pure love and pure kind of remuneration for the effort that you've put in. But also, the Green Man is also about rejuvenation of health. And I feel particularly for you, I don't know why, but I feel that you've had a lot of stress related illnesses. So I feel quite full, the back of my head and the backs of my eyes feel quite sore. And it's almost as if, what most of us have been working from home on the computer screen. But what you need to do as well is, when we get the Green Man is all about stripping back, finding time for you, and finding a safe and clear space. So when you switch that computer off at the end of the day, even if you've only got time to have a cup of tea or a favourite biscuit, you need to do that because it's about giving self-care back. It's also about fertility and family. And I feel that this is something that you are now questioning. I think for you, you're now coming to that like preface, like we all were, where it's kind of, do I step in to be a family or do I kind of work with career? Well, the Green Man is saying they're in your heart if you are ready to go for it, but also health wise, it gives all the indicators that maybe you are ready to take that next step for your creating your own family. So I hope that finds you well, Louisa.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Oh my god, this is crazy. I can't. I'm not. I'm a typical man. I can't multitask.
Typical, we'll
Next
get through
next
it.
reading is from my brother from another mother, my partner in dark crime, Mr. Ben Winfield, who's now going to be my new co-host over there on Pulse Talk Radio. So can you do one for him, please,
Yeah,
Clay?
Ben.
Thank
So Ben, I
you.
think Ben's gonna like this card. This is the Two of Vessels, and this is Attraction. So I like these ones. I love it when we get the Stag's Head because the Stag's Head is all about determination, grit. But can you see that we've got kind of a male-female stag there? Now,
Hmm.
the first thing I'm going to point out is the fire. So the fire in the middle, that is literally a project taking off for a project that is already quite successful, and you are now popping your efforts in to take it to the next level. However, with fire, some people can see fire as a negative in cards. I see them as positive solely because it's a spark of energy, it's a spark of life, it's a spark of creativity. Now, I feel that this ongoing project is going to take a turn. It's going to take a complete fork in the road from where you want it to go. but for successful results. And you have to just trust in the energy and trust in the process. So the universe will be presenting you with this vision and this fork in the road if they didn't think you were capable. But also, the female influence here is showing someone who's incredibly grounding. That's kind of the yin to your yang, where you're kind of very naturally fiery, very naturally kind of self-proclaiming, but not in an arrogant way, as in you will stand up on your own 2 feet and have your own opinions and not be frightened to state them. The female influence here is kind of the stability and the cooling down. And I feel that this is someone that you implicitly trust with your life, with your future. And what I'm going to say is just relax. If you've had quite a turbulent time with this person, just relax and let go now. You have a connection, and I feel this is some sort of past life connection that's carried through to this one. So a soul recognition. So stay firm in that. Don't worry about the work project that's going to take off, and the energy of the universe will look after it. And for you, from a personal perspective, just accept the love and be self-accepting, and you are worthy of love, and this will work. So I hope that finds you well.
There we go, Joe. It's funny you say that because he's a very strong personality, so definitely, definitely. I really like that one, Ben. That one's for you. Just a couple of messages that I need to put up. Where we go? Jacqueline, from your reading you gave Jacqueline, she said, I'm waiting for a new heating system as a foundation and we'll sort a house around it, a complete revamp. So you're spot on with that one.
Wonderful.
Spot on with that one. And also Louisa, she says, thank you. I'm also drinking a beer with a green man on. Laugh out loud. That's brilliant. Out to Maisie, I will get Laura put on the list as well. So yeah, we're piling up. So if you do want a reading, guys, let me know. We're going to try and get through them as quickly as possible. So next one, we have Kathy Adams, one of the regulars on the show. Let's pick a card out for Kathy.
So Kathy, this is the 10 of Stones, and this is home, Kathy. So this is all about expectations and reaching for a goal. So if you can see, you're almost peering through the cave and into expectations. And this is about projected reality versus your actual reality. So I feel that you almost wonder kind of, is the grass greener? And do I want to kind of pursue my heart's desire? Because we have greenery there again, and the main focal point of that is the tree. This again is all about linking to universal energy, and also asking for help from ancestors and reaching out for help from friends and family. If there are relationships I feel that are particularly strained, reach out now, offer the olive branch. I think that vulnerability from yourself will get you remuneration in return. I feel you need that support as well, because with this sometimes the grass is greener rhetoric, we all sometimes put far too much pressure onto ourselves, and this is saying you just need to ask for the help when you need it, but also don't be afraid to make yourself vulnerable to change. With the heart chakra as well, again with it being green and very earthly led, this is about speaking from here and knowing that whatever decisions you need to make in regards to this kind of this next path, follow it from here. And if it doesn't feel right in here, and particularly I'm going to say in solar plexus here, then take a step back and reassess it through someone else's eyes with the pros and cons before you take that next step. So I hope that finds you well.
There you go, Kathy. Big shouts out to the Paranormal Darkness locked in. It's going well tonight. It's going well tonight. Don't forget, guys, if you sort of miss parts of your reading, or you've run off to get a cup of tea or gone to the loo or something, you can listen to the show back. It will be available on the Facebook page in my videos, and will also be available on YouTube as well. So make sure you do that. I think your partner's next, actually. He's put his name down, Mr. Craig Maloney.
Hello. It's the Hookster. So, Craig, your card is the 9 of Stones, and this is tradition. So we couldn't have a much more perfect card for you at the moment. This is all about calming down, finding your inner serenity, and listening to the inner core of where you need to be in here and in here. You can see we have the moon in the back, and we also have the stones. So the moon is about lunar cycles. Particularly, this tends to be much more of a female energy. However, when we get this for a male, this is all about, again, renewed energy. So with females, when it's more about kind of hormonal and kind of much more of a reproductive, in the generics of male and female. It's about renewed energy and about kind of surrendering to where your soul needs to be and where your purpose and your drive needs to be. So you don't need me to tell you this already, but this is saying you need to chill out. You need to listen and don't be frightened of maybe taking time out for you, Craig. Even though I'm your wife and I tell you to do that all the time, you need to listen now because it's the universe telling you to do it and not me.
Well, if he's anything like me, us men, we don't listen to anything that the other half says anyway. So
It's quite good, really, but we've had a difficult few weeks just with our pages and professionally. So we're kind of positive step forward, and we've both struggled a little bit, but now we're on the other end.
that's good.
And the energy's shifting. Then yeah, we're
That's
brilliant again.
It's always good to look. It's always good to focus on the positives.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Lorian Jones. You're like, I know you're late. It's fine, but we haven't done your reading yet, so you're lucky. You're lucky. Right. So the next one is for a regular of mine, Vonnie Hunter. If you can do one for Vonnie for me.
Okay. So Vonnie, your card is the Queen of Bows, and this is hair. So this is one of my. Well, this is what I call kind of one of the super magical cards in my deck. For many of you that will know, the hare is a magical being. So for me, it's my calling card for gifts and intuition. So I feel that at the moment now, you are experiencing more of what I call third dimensional experiences. So you know your things about kind of how energy is created, where it goes, you know, the good, you know, the bad, the dark and the light. But I feel like you're going through a spiritual transition. So I feel as if you are encountering new guides, new people, but also you're getting a lot more kind of what I call magical with a CK, as in energy transference experiences. And they are becoming so vivid that they're pushing you to connect more with the divine. Now, also the hare being a spring animal, and also the way they particularly live is all about kind of not hiding, not burrowing away, but stepping up and popping your face into the sunlight and acknowledging the gifts that the universe is giving you. And if you are worried about kind of the vulnerability of being able to express those gifts, please don't. There are always people out there to help guide you with your gifts. But also with the hair is just kind of free. It's out there in the pastures. It's hopping around. It's, you know, when you imagine them, seeing them on the plains, you need to kind of do this for your soul's purpose. And also you will notice a shift in energy. You will feel so much lighter once you start to kind of find your way with this new path. So I hope that card finds you well.
There we go. Sorry, it's my daughter's birthday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, and she's going through a big one at the moment because she's going up to secondary school. So I'm very, very proud, and we're just trying to sort of spoil her for her birthday because she's a big girl now. So it's my oldest. So we're doing the whole teenage thing, you know. We're getting her some nice clothes, and you know, making her grow. She's growing up now, and you know, it's just
well, I hope she has a lovely birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you. Just a couple of responses. Craig says thank you. Wonderful as always. That doesn't count because he's biased, so let's not even go there. Also, Kathy saying thank you. Possible big changes happening very soon and been considering a very large project regarding paranormal things and doing readings at fairs. Well done, Kathy. And Vonnie says thank you as well. I've got to send a big shout out to Vonnie and Kathy. They're always here every week. They're always locked in. It's great. Right. So next one, I think it's someone who listens to you a lot. I don't know how to. I've written this down. I can't read my own handwriting. It says Maisie
Scranage.
That's the one. Maisie Scranage. I can't even read my own handwriting. I'm just, God, I've got daddy brains.
Maisie, your card is a 10 of arrows, and this is instruction. So this card is all about truth and seeking the truth. So if you remember, this carries on quite beautifully from the conversation we had on the Lifting the Veil live about the disruption that was happening in your home with your little one, with the dreams. And this is a continuation of saying that you need to stick with your gut on the answers. Particularly with, if you can see, like there's an older person guiding that arrow and where the young child fires it. Now, I think what you're already aware of, which we've talked about before, is about mum being around and in the energy field. I think this is a clear indicator that you need to start asking mum for the truth, for the answers. I know I'm biased because I'm already working on some of those answers for you, but I think you need to start pushing and pressuring mum's energy. But not, I don't mean pressuring that way. I mean, she's waiting to give you the answer if you only just ask. Also, as well, I'm going to point out that that child is wearing green. So this is about also listening kind of to your heart and listening to where you want to go. And I feel that at the moment you're harbouring words. So there's a truth that you need to speak and you want to speak it from here. But you're kind of worried, if you imagine firing that arrow forward and hitting somebody like a massive smack of truth, you're worried about the repercussions. And what I'm going to say is don't worry about those repercussions, because we all need to speak our truth. The universe is there to push us and to guide us, and you wouldn't feel like you needed to speak this truth if it wasn't relevant. So I'm going to encourage you, Maisie, to speak from here and to get the strength from here. But always remember that the universe will always come back and support us. So I hope that finds you well, Maisie.
Yeah, big shout out to you. Thanks to I've got to send a big shout out to Lorian, who's just managed to share this around for me, and shouts
Thank
out to
you.
Lou Haddo, who's just locked in. It's good to have her locked in. It's yeah, it's going well at the moment. I think we've got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 more remaining.
Lovely.
But if there's anyone else that wants to get themselves on the list, pop in. Let us know. And Kay's doing a brilliant job. I mean, this is like the easiest show for me ever. So
I enjoy these. I like these. I think sometimes I enjoy reading. I think out of everything that I do, it's just nice to kind of, I always do the positive and I try and give the positive, even if it's kind of, even if it's something as simple as just get more sleep, be a bit
yeah.
more relaxed. I think it just gives people a little bit of hope and positivity.
Yeah, definitely. Just a couple of shouts out to Vonnie. She says, happy birthday for your daughter Damon. Bless, what a wonderful age. Yep. No, I mean, she's such a good girl. She really is. You know, I mean, you couldn't be more proud. She's so helpful. She's just developed that she's just getting to that teenage age now. So I'm starting to like, but you know how it goes. At to Maisie Scranage, she's saying, thank you, spot on as always, lots of mixed dreams, including mum recently, so may get answers soon. Hopefully, yeah. I find with when people say I'll get answers soon, the universe has a really weird way of giving you answers.
Yeah.
And it does happen, it's the age old story of what goes around comes around, and
Yeah.
positive thoughts gives you positive outcomes and all these sort of things. I think it does all sort of tie in, and it does eventually. You do eventually get the answers that you need.
Yeah, and also, like I always say, it may not come in the response that you may recognise or want. It may be the exact opposite of the answer, but you'll still end up in the same space. And I know
Yeah,
sometimes, I think the more you ask and the more you're open to kind of the opportunities of kind of, for me, it's just kind of, it was a difficult thing to do, but now I just kind of surrender to the universal energy. I know as long as if it's anything to do with work and things, as long as I put my work in and my work's up to par and everybody that I get on with is safe and happy and I'm fulfilling my roles, the rest I've just surrender up. And it's a hard concept to do, but
yeah,
it's given me such peace of mind to be able to do it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I completely understand that. At the end of the day, like it's one of them scenarios where not everything's preordained, but we have our own path to take. And at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
if you sort of force that path, it's gonna push back.
Yeah,
So it's better off just to sit back and just enjoy your journey.
yeah, absolutely.
Right, so what we're going to do one more reading, and then we're going to pop
Okay.
into a quick ad break because I've got to put the sponsors up.
Lovely.
So we're going to go with Lorian Jones on the next one,
So
please.
Lorian, your card is the Knight of Arrows and this is the Hawk. Okay, so the hawk, again, this is all about you. A lot of the animals are representative of us. Some of them are more about passive expectations and experiences, but this is you. This is the hawk. So when we think of the hawk, she's at the top of the food chain. She's not chased by the predators. She's the person that goes after things. So this is maintain that resilience in reaching for your goals and reaching for the sky. And also, don't worry about things that are out of your hands at the moment. I feel that you're constantly working away. And then the moment you hand it over, you are almost frustrated at the pace of which it takes other people to maybe catch on to ideas or to push your work to the next level. But what I'm going to say again, moving on from what we've said, is trust in the process, but also take the impalement from the bird. So she will soar in the sky and she will hunt her predators. And this is saying that you are looking kind of for your next opportunities for the next set of 6 to 12 months. And they're already there. And it's just saying they're there for the taking. And this is all about, again, abundance of self. So be confident in the choices. And also, I think there's going to be one massive bold project that you're literally going to swoop down on and dig your claws in and dig your heels in, and that's going to be your new, I feel the next 6 months, that's going to be your next big project, your next big baby. And be proud of it as well. Sit on that leaf and hold your head up high, but also don't be frightened of enjoying the kind of the praise and the good vibes that come from it. It's not ego led if you sit there and go, thank you universe, thank you everybody. And don't be shy either of kind of self-praise and self-promotion, because once you do and you sit comfortably with self-promotion, everything else will just kind of fall in your lap like a deck of cards. So I hope that finds you well, Lorien.
There you go. To you, Lorien. I hope that, I hope that you take that one. Right, guys, we're going to quickly pop into a quick advert break. I've got to put the sponsors up there and all that sort of thing. You know how it goes. And then when we get on the other side, we're doing some more readings. We're going to talk to Kay about what she's been up to, what she's got planned for the future in the paranormal and all that. So just stay tuned. Do not touch that dial.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
And we're back. I've got to work out to try and make that transition towards the end a little bit smoother, because it's like, bam, we're back. It's like, oh, okay, right.
You'll get there.
So don't forget, guys, if you do want to listen to any of your readings back, you want to share this about, don't forget to go over to YouTube. I haven't actually got a YouTube link yet because I've only got 32 subscribers. I'm not very happy. I'm not happy, but if you guys can get subscribing, like and subscribe, and we're going to get, I mean, when we get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a special Demonology 101. I'm going to give you an overview of all the things that I've learned over my years of doing it, and it's going to be exclusively for the YouTube subscribers. So make sure you go over there and do that. So back to the show now, okay? Back to you. Okay. Lorien says, thank you so much. Okay, you're an absolute treasure. I love this reading. I was starting to flag a little, and this has given me a lovely boost. That's a really nice message.
You're welcome, Lorien. You're welcome. Like I said, it's just, even if it's just encouragement that people need, then I think we all need that bit of a lift. And I think, but some people think I walk around with rose tinted glasses on and, you know, talk to the fairies and I'm a bit batty. But at the heart of it, it literally is that my positivity comes from having to, number one, work really hard professionally, but also my path to get here wasn't the easiest path. So now I've got the option to be positive for other people, then that means the world.
Yeah, and I mean, me and you sort of have that little thing in common, because when people contact me with cases that I'm doing, I have to be that positive person for them as well. So it's sort of it sort of makes sense at the end of the day. Right, so next one is for Paul Lutus, please.
Hello, Paul. Paul's one of my lovely people. Thank you for the support, Paul. So this is the Five of Bows, and this is empowerment, Paul. So again, another theme, moving on quite, strongly from Maisie's. This is all about truth, but this is also about empowerment, and this is about kind of owning your masculine energy. So if you can see there, we have that figure in the grass, quite, druid-like, and actually quite natural, being sat with Mother Nature. But we also have the bows at the front. So the first thing I want to address is the masculine energy, and this is about you reclaiming yourself and reclaiming your energy. I feel that you've had a crisis of confidence of some sorts. So you genuinely are struggling with kind of who Paul used to be and who Paul is now. And what I can say is that that man who was that was born is still the same. That soul that was born into the physical body is still the same. You just need to kind of look inwards now. And with masculine energy, it's all about, traditionally, it's all about kind of commandship, standing forward, and about being a little bit more kind of vocal in your approach. But actually, because we have the green here, the green is also about heart chakra and about self-acknowledgement. And this is also about, if you do feel like you've kind of been popped in the tumble dryer the past 6 months and wobbled around and you've just been thrown out and you are, gosh, like I said, who is Paul? Look inside here, and inside your heart are all of the answers that you need. But it's also about asking a spouse or a loved one to step in and take some of that burden and share it. And you will find that if you share how you're feeling in here, and particularly in here, then the energy will reboot and you'll be able to reclaim that Paul before the upheaval. So I hope that finds you well, Paul, and just let us know how you found that reading.
Yep, that's no Paul. Jacqueline's saying you have lovely energy, Kay.
Thank you.
That's nice. Was Lorian saying Batty is best as well? I don't know what that means. I have
Well,
no idea.
you know what, the new level of Batty now, and I say Batty because the neighbours know now, but particularly when I'm outside in my copper meditation pyramid at the top of the garden, and I think people think that I'm either hiding from the aliens or speaking to aliens. So that's funny, when I'm at the top of my, I've recorded lots of videos, and you'll see on the page soon that I'll be sat under my copper pyramid that Craig built, and they're for sale on the page. And when I'm sat under that, you just see kind of the neighbours like start to clean the windows and lean out the windows and kind of go, oh, again, and kind of pull the blinds down and go back downstairs.
It's crazy to think that. I mean, I can't imagine looking out the window and seeing someone sitting in a copper tent. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing around where I am is you look out the window and someone's doing a bonfire. So
Yeah, they used to be now. They used to be. I think that's the best way to be.
yeah. Paul's saying, spot on Kay as always. Thank you so much. Awesome reading.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Wow. Next one's for Laura, Maisie's friend Laura. All I got is a first name for that one. So if that.
So Laura, your card is a 7 of stones, and this is all about healing, Laura. So this is all about overcoming and finding, unlike Craig's card, where Craig's card was about deliberately finding stillness and deliberately finding calm. This is showing that you need that calm as I'm speaking to you right now. I just feel that I feel very anxious. I feel quite tight in the chest, and I feel as if you are kind of worried about something. I feel you're either waiting for test results, some sort of letter, something to come through that you've handed over to somebody else. And because of that, if you can see the body at the bottom, that green man's almost levitating over the top of, that is kind of death of the old ways. And when that decision comes through, I feel like it's going to be the end of a massive chapter and the start of a new one, particularly because of the way we've got the green man almost kind of levitating over that death. Typically, obviously, like I said, when we get death is about rejuvenation. It's about kind of shedding the old self. Think of a snake, it sheds its skin, and you're going to kind of shed an old skin and an old way of life and step forward into the new one, but with incredible self-patience and self-abundance. So you can see in the background, we have that beautiful sunset. Again, yellow, solar plexus led, which is about selfhood and owning this new chapter and stepping forward with confidence and love. So I hope that finds you well.
Okay, on that card, there was like a stone circle around the outside of it. Or are they
Yeah.
druids? Is that a
Yeah,
stone circle?
it's definitely a
Ah,
stone circle. Yeah, 100%.
brilliant.
Energy again. And I think like
Hmm.
the way it's enclosed as well, and they're in the middle of it, it's definitely, well, like we said, Beltane's coming as well, isn't it? And the
Hmm.
pagan seasons and the seasons are now changing. So 100%. I think as well with this card, like I said before, with stone, stone is also about kind of vibrational energy, and in the paranormal world, it's about kind of holding memories and
Yep,
transference of kind of interdimensional energy. And like if we leave like the quantum physics theory of we're all energy, and if
yep.
we all leave an imprint, then yeah, 100%. And it's no secret as to, you know, this card is transformative in the best way possible. Every area I think of life is going to change.
Okay. Well, we've got some comments up. Von says, "Thank you, Kay, for my reading. Really makes me feel more positive and lifts me up. Getting back out to being my free spirited self again is amazing. Thank you."
Thank you.
To Jane, the boss lady, she says, "I have a copper pyramid to sit in, and also smaller one to put items in. Batty is the way forward." See,
Yeah,
this word, the word
hashtag
batty.
Batty.
it-
Okay,
where I where I was born and where I'm from, right? The word batty means bum, so it's really. So I'm just looking at this like, what the hell?
it's the way for. Do you know? Do you know? I think as well. Like it's. I say batty, but it's kind of like, I suppose the best word is uniqueness.
Yeah,
Celebrate your. That's what makes each of us magical. Is that we are all different. We've all got different thumbprints. We've all got a unique soul, a unique energy, and that is what makes us all beautiful.
yeah. Laura's also put up. Laura has a huge thing happening on Wednesday with a big outcome opening to a fresh start, hopefully. So yeah, be positive. Like Kay said, be positive, be patient, and
Yeah.
wait. Right. So the next one is for Lay Jackson. We have one for Lay Jackson, please.
Hello, one of our friends from the USA. So thank you so much for popping on.
Oh, all the way
Um,
from across the pond.
from
Lovely.
across the pond, yeah. We did. We do a lot of interactive online investigations with her. Most
Hmm.
Saturdays, I think the one I think we've done Waverley with her. I
Hmm.
think we've done the Thomas Guest House, and I can't remember where we are nextly, but we do. I'll do the mediumship. Craig gets his equipment out, and we see if we can work across the pond on what we get. And it's been really interesting. So yeah. So
Cool.
thank you, Lee. So your card is the Two of Arrows, and this is injustice. So Lee, this is speaking about career-wise. This is about job at the moment, and I feel that you are struggling immensely with kind of staffing and kind of fighting of egos. I feel as though you're at that level where you've got to look at it kind of from a step back point of view. You've got to be so non-judgmental. But the problem is with, I feel, with the issue that's going on, I think it may be some sort of accusation of bullying against from one person against other people. And I think you know what the answer is. And I'm going to say, particularly as her hands are across the heart, if you can see the pregnant belly. Now, those two are quite significant of nurture and knowing the answer here. So as soon as you read that email or you read that piece of information, you instantly knew what you wanted to believe and what the truth was. So follow that. And I don't think that, I think the person who's making the allegations is telling the truth, but you'll be made to be put in a really awkward position with the resolve of this. Now, because of the pregnant belly, this is all about kind of growing, learning, nurturing, and allowing your soul to kind of let go of the darkness from situations. So instead of kind of, when you think of a baby growing in the womb, we give it nutrients and they say don't get stressed and play the baby music. Think of this kind of fetus almost as kind of your own voice and your own self-development. So allow it to nurture and then almost kind of give birth to it when the time is right. But this is going to be when the time is right, when you've made your decision on the resolution. And I know you well enough to know that you will speak your mind and you are such a strong woman. So I'm going to say use your voice, and I have every faith that the resolution for this is already in here, and you may have already typed the email response as we speak. So I hope that finds you well, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, like I've had that before when you're sitting there, you're typing away, and then you like listen to getting reading online, and they like, oh yeah, you've probably already written. It's like, oh yeah, I have. Have I done something wrong now?
No, no, I think Lee knows. I think as soon as kind of she read it and was like, yeah, yeah, I
Mm.
know all of them well enough, and I've worked with them individually, and I kind of know whether this was kind of tainted for ego, whether it was tainted to kind of step on somebody else. And I
Mm.
think Lee knows this situation kind of, all the way through.
Just before, because we've got one more reading to do
Yeah,
for Lou's Haddo, but I just wanted to ask. Now, I'm in a big debate at the moment, right? And I'm not very popular because of my opinion on it. And I wanted to get your opinion from,
yeah.
because obviously you're coming from a different sort of angle, a meditation energy angle. What is your take on sage? Does it work?
Right. I'm going to be quite controversial.
I
So I'm
don't think you
probably
could
going
be
to
any
end
more
up in your
controversial
camp.
than where I am at the
So
moment.
I use a mixture of things because I find I'm going to go on an example. So I did a case where there was a particular lady that was being attacked in the night, and we knew the energy, we identified the energy, and we also had the drawing of the entity that was doing the damage.
Right.
So looking at that, Sage did not work the first time. And the only reason, and I wasn't particularly going to use Sage, but traditionally it's what people expect you to use almost, kind of.
Yeah.
It's what the said thing is. And I think if you go against the grain, sometimes you lose people's confidence. I use a combination of the two, but I use Palo
Oh,
Santo
I've heard of
oil,
that.
and Palo
Oh,
Santo wood.
yeah,
And
I've heard of that.
Palo Santo, I've got my notes here. I've been writing about it today for the page. So Palo Santo, it's from it's a mystical tree, and it grows in South America, and it's in the frankincense family. And in Spanish, it literally means holy wood. And
Yep.
basically, you burn the Palo Santo sticks for creativity, love, good fortune, brightening energy, and positivity. So what I choose to do is, particularly when you're asking something to leave an energy, it's a 3-step process. You can't just jump in and go, you need to leave. You
Hmm.
have to underpin it first. So for me, whacking out the sage is going to do no good. You
No.
need to kind of, what I do is, I will smudge with sage, but I tend to use white sage in the
Hmm.
bundles. But I like to have lavender with mine as well. So as it's
Yeah.
not kind of, when you are clearing the space, you don't just want to clear it and leave. You want to clear it but create positivity. So with
Mhm.
the Palo Santo, my go-to would be Palo Santo. So I think sage is more if you are a beginner and you maybe haven't worked with energies, maybe, and
Yeah.
it's a nice introductory. And if you know your Wiccan and your pagan, and you know your herbology and the history kind of the history of the occult and magical work, sage is the go-to, and it always has been. But I feel that Palo Santo is the more beneficial because it raises vibrations as well.
It's crazy that you say about Palo Santo being part of the frankincense family,
Yeah,
because whatever case I've dealt with, or if I've had this discussion, or like the discussion I'm involved in at the moment, I've been told that I'm crazy because I say don't burn sage, burn frankincense.
yeah,
And it's quite crazy that you pick out the one thing that's in the frankincense family.
yeah.
So what people have to understand about sages is that sage for many years has always been an incense. It's not been
Yes.
anything to do with energy. It's the smell that people
Yeah.
use it for.
To smoke,
And
isn't it?
yeah, and we people that used to burn sage at like sort of seances and stuff like that just to have a nice smell around. They didn't do it for
Yeah.
negative energies, but it's just sort of caught on over time, almost like a game of Chinese whispers.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what sort of makes sense.
Um.
Craig,
Yeah.
Craig's just put
Traditional.
up that you think you got shares in the Palo Santo company.
Yeah. I've just had a big box like that come, and I'll probably get through that in about probably 2 weeks. And then I've got the wood, but the wood's nice. I think for people that are starting, maybe buy the joss sticks. But for if you're doing purification and pure
Yeah,
cleansing, it's definitely the wood. And also, I mean, if you are thinking more on the Christ consciousness, so halfway up the Kabbalist charter, we have the Sabaris, we have like the Christ consciousness, frankincense and myrrh, obviously one of the gifts that were given to Christ. So it's almost kind of a, if you want to think about it, even more kind of a blessed formula to be using when you need positivity and love to come into a situation.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to get your take on that,
Yeah,
because obviously you're coming from a complete different angle. Man, you're coming from the positive, whereas I'm coming from the negative. So it's nice to get that sort of extra sort of angle
I
almost. Look
think
at
like
it.
sage is just your one pot wheat, if that makes sense. You burn it for the smell, you burn
Hmm.
it for the purification of the smoke, and then
Yeah,
that's that. And then it's kind of okay. So you've kind of helped banish the negative. So what are you going to do? You've walked out, and particularly in a home, I believe if you're clearing a home, you need to put the positivity back in as you leave. So as you seal it with that, like that union of strength, and you ask, the Archangel Michael and whoever you're working with to step forward, you almost need to seal it in as well. So
yeah.
Palo Santo brings in the positivity and the creativity and the love.
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely. Just a couple of quick messages. Lorian saying, I use sage because it's natural antioxidant and love the smell. Nothing to do with the spooks. It's true. Jane's also saying that she finds cedar is very powerful. If you're dealing, this is like, I'm totally giving away my secrets now, but if you're dealing with something that's negative and extremely negative, people don't understand this, but anything
Yes.
citrus works very, very, very well.
Yeah.
Um, Kathy's also saying, I grow my own white sage. I'm planting blue next. Is there any difference in the two of them when smudging? I've always used white sage and sweetgrass because that's what we used at powwows and camps when I was growing up. I don't know if there's a difference between the two. I just think it's a different breed of sage, if I'm
Yeah.
honest with you. Sage in itself has always been to me an incense more than a paranormal tool. So that's my opinion on it anyway. I'm probably going to get trolled for it, but who cares? Right, so we've got 8 minutes left, and I want to get through the last one. Can you do a
Okay.
card for Lewis Haddo for me?
Okay, so Lewis, your card is the Eight of Arrows, and this is struggle, Lewis. So this is you at the moment. So I feel that you feel like everything is closing in on you. You feel the walls are closing in. You feel like people are closing in. And it's almost like lost in the wilderness. You're struggling to understand why. And it's why, because I feel as though you needed to step back and take a break. So if you can see there, that torch and that staff is about speaking the truth, about walking your own path and being diligent in kind of who you meet along the way and what energy transfers are happening. But also the lamp is almost kind of, if you can see, it's held here across the heart, and this is about stepping forward into kind of a new relationship with a vulnerability. So I feel that you are almost questioning their motives before you jump in. It's like in the cloak, you're guarded, you're safe, almost as if kind of when we're on investigations and you say to people, just imagine you're safe and you're cloaked and you are warm. And this is about kind of hiding vulnerability. But what you will find is that the person involved, where you're hiding this vulnerability from, it's a quality that they find really redeeming, and a quality that they see in you that makes them want to kind of engage with you. Now, don't be afraid as well. If you can see, there are arrows on the floor, and I feel that your situation, why you've kind of retracted away from the world, is because of the opinions and the bullying of others and the egos of others. Now, pull some of the arrows are feeler in the back, and the ones are on the floor. Basically, quash all the ones on the floor, stamp them out. The ones that are on your back, throw them out, and if needs be, set fire to them using that lamp, and allow your voice and your opinions to be heard. And don't ever be frightened of kind of hurting people's feelings to speak your truth, but also come out from this withdrawing from the world, because ultimately by hiding, you're letting them win. So find your voice and find your strength again, and I'm absolutely positive that you'll have a whole new outlook on everything. So I wish you luck with that.
Brilliant. So, I mean, wow, that's a lot of readings to go through in one night. But it's brilliant, Kay. Honestly, you've done a really, really good job with that. And I done this for a reason, because I wanted to give back to everybody that's been listening to the show. The show is so popular. I get so many views every week. I get so many great messages. And like when you've done that reading on me, everyone's going, "Oh, we want to read him. We want to read." So I wanted to give something back to all the listeners. I mean, I have so many regulars that come on all the time, and it's so great to have everyone locked in. And with the new radio station starting up and me sort of being over there with Ben Winfield, it'd be great to have you on there as well, Case. We'll have to
I'd
arrange
love
something like
to,
that.
yeah, absolutely. Anytime, yeah.
So we'll definitely arrange something with that. But
Love
can you
that.
just let everybody know out there if they've enjoyed the show tonight, where they can find you, what you're up to, and if you've got any live streams coming up?
Live streams, I cut back a little bit. Like I said, we've had a bit of a tough time trying to kind of push through. So what I did was, for a completely selfish energy reason, I pulled back from all the lives. The next live is, I'm going to have a look, is our Lifting the Veil. So our Lifting the Veil that's going to be on Friday the 7th of May, and that is ITC and mediumship put together, and basically we tune into the voices, we tune into the energies, but we also ask people to give names of loved ones and we call out to them. I also have people visit me in spirit. If they come to me in spirit, I communicate and we pass messages on across the live. But we also see, as well as talking to me, if they want to use their voices. And it's all kind of about the collective consciousness effort, about trying to see how far one collective consciousness can go to lift the veil. My other live is I have got something that I do every once a month. And I'm going to get it on my page now. I do a Give Your Worries to Lord Ganesha, and that is where we just sit. Anybody that knows me knows that Lord Ganesha is my main deity that I work with, and he's all about removing obstacles and helping us move forward. So once a month I do that. The events are all on my page, so that's that. And occasionally I do pop-up lives, but I've also got 2 new lives at the moment that are in development, and they're going back to old school.
We like
really old school divination. So as you can see on my page, it's the crystal ball in the hand. So think more like that, and we're going to go down that route. But I've also got a few new videos coming.
Cool.
Yeah, so just reading and writing. I've also had a Wednesday evening meditation session that's £5 a session, and there's no pressure on that. You can either do 1 week, you can do every week, and that's every other week. At the moment we're going through the chakras, but once we've done the chakras, and previous work was we did different types of meditation. So we did Greek, we did Norse mythology, we did Buddhism, so we explore all areas together, and I kind of give you an introductory note, and then you can go off and either go and work with somebody else who does it full time, or you can just kind of self-study. So at the moment I'm taking my page in a bit more of a direction, and I'm kind of making it more of a lifestyle blog as well. So you'll see on there, rather than advertising just for reading, at the moment I'm cultivating my herb garden, and I'm showing the development of my meditation space to try and show people the process of creating a magical space.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, and it's, I think it's facebook.com/Claire Kay Maloney, isn't it?
It's Kay Maloney.
Yeah.
Clairsentient medium and meditation practitioner, and I'll just get the page up now for people that want to see.
So
and
if anybody wants to check it out, honestly, go over and check out Kay's page. I've actually watched a couple of your that's it on the screen now. I would put it up on the banners, but the banners ain't working. So
don't worry.
I have problems every week. Last week it shut the show just shut down halfway through. It's like, what the hell? I'm cursed. I'm cursed. But yeah, no, guys, if you want to learn about meditation and you want to learn about balancing and becoming more of a positive person, more positive thinking, head over to Claire's page. Claire and Craig do an absolutely amazing job, and they also sell some stuff on their page as well, which will help you with your balancing, help you with your meditation. It's definitely one that I would say go and check out. It's something that you don't want to miss out on, especially like when you have your little Ganesha up and then really, really relaxing music. Like if you're like sort of relaxed out in bed and you've got that on the headphones, it's actually really relaxing. So
and like my hubby's got electro paranormal, so I'm the kind of the mediumship side, and my hubby's is electro paranormal, so he sells kits. So we've got a lovely little kind of
good balance.
Really lucky.
Just one quick message from Lou from the reading. She said, "Oh my God, that was so amazing, Kay. You got it so right. It's unbelievable. Love and light."
Thank you.
Brilliant. So, right, we've come to the end of the show. Kay, once again, thank you for coming. Thank you for doing all them readings. Honestly, it's great to give back to everybody out there, and I wouldn't have picked anybody else to do it for me. So, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for the kind words. It really
Oh, brilliant.
does. It's fantastic. And I'm so glad that, that a lot of people have taken so much away from it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening to me waffle.
Thank you again, Kay. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. So, guys, that was Kay Maloney. And don't forget, next week's show is a biggie. Next week, we are joined by the one and only Tom Warrington, paranormal author himself. We're going to be talking to him about his book and about his experiences in the paranormal. Also, guys, once again, do not forget, if you want to get hold of some Demonologist UK merchandise, head over to facebook.com/catfacemerch. All you have to do is message them Demonology 101 with your size, and they'll send you a PayPal link. $16.99 gets you the official merchandise for the show. Once again, we're also collecting for the National Autistic Society. Head over to my page. That's Demonologist UK there on Facebook. You'll see the post pinned at the top of the page. Once again, thank you to Kay Maloney. Don't forget to go and check out her page as well. I've been Damon Penny, and this has been the Demonologist UK live stream here on the HAPRC network. Until next week, take care, goodbye, and good night.